there, viewers, and welcome back to the Self-Made Auto Channel. Sitting inside a Mitsubishi Outlander. It is a used car special from the used car guy. No history on the vehicle. It's got a couple lights on the dash, a service full drive light, and an airbag light. So he wants us to check that out so he can sell the car. So I'll show you here. I just drove the little guy in. I don't know if it'll do it key on, engine off or not. It took a minute for it to come on here before. There we go. So service required. I assume that's service full drive. And then it also had an airbag light that came on after that. Let me go ahead and start it. That's gonna make a liar out of me. Tire pressure sensor, service required. Airbag, service required. And then of course we got the full drive light flashing there. So he didn't say anything about the TPMS. Airbag, four-wheel drive. That's what we're going after. So I will have to admit, before we get too far, I'm a little bit of a Mitsubishi virgin. I don't work on many of these. Mitsubishi in general. Where am I going here? LMNOP fella. So we'll see what happens. We'll let her read the VIN here. I'm pretty sure it's an 07. What the shiz? I don't know. Let's just pick this one. 07 Outlander. Okay. We're going to let it auto scan. We're going to get all the codes out of all the modules in case somebody tells on somebody else here. I have no idea if these two problems are related, so. Alright, so I've got a report here. I don't know a lot of their acronyms, so you'll have to kind of bear with me, but in the meter, so I assume the instrument cluster. Well, let's see. Let's get down to where we're at here. Sometimes these are confusing unless we print them out. Let's see, here we go. So, MPI, GDI, so it's going to be the engine computer. It has an active code for an intake tuning valve. In the ABS, it has a stored code for insufficient brake fluid. Airbag, it has a code for OCM can timeout. Alright, and that's a U code, so that's some kind of communication code. And I think OCM is occupation classification module, if I had to guess. Let's see, meter has a code for the same thing, which if these all work off the same network, I guess that would make sense. Air conditioner has the same thing for the OCM can. Electronic automatic. ETACS. Transmission perhaps. Pardon me for not knowing, by the way. OCM can timeout. I'm starting to see. Oh no, it wouldn't be transmission if it has tail lamp circuit. Maybe some type of body control module, something. Here we go. Here's one we want. Four-wheel drive. We have a power supply, low voltage. So that's interesting. And then radio has one for OCM can. I think we've seen tire with a Y. OCM can. So it looks like all the other modules that have codes, we go back out here, all these ones that have single codes in it seem to be because they're having a problem talking to something with the airbag. So why don't we just jump into the airbag module? Apparently the airbag module can still communicate because we're able to read codes from it. OCM can time out. So we're going to have to do some research. Let's just go into live data here. Not much to see. Alright, very little bit data there. Let's see what we have in active test. Nothing really worthwhile. Sometimes it's more fun to just poke around for a little bit. Anyhow, I wonder if that's the right VIN. We can double check all that stuff. Original VIN, current VIN. Okay, well, let me do my research. See what it takes to set this code. So I think I made a mistake because I made an assumption. I was just looking up some service data. I think I made the assumption that the airbag computer is I guess for lack of a better term, by itself. What we need to do is back out, because this is one problem I think if I'm right here, we'll see with the auto scan feature. If a module doesn't work and the vehicle has it, it doesn't pull it up on our list here. This only brings up what it can communicate with. So there's only 19 modules that it's talking with right now. So instead of an auto scan, we want to pick control unit and see if there is an OCM. OCM right there. Bam. Okay, ding dong. So there must be an, okay, so there we have, well, we have no com because I got no key on. Let me back out. Try this again. See if we can talk to this OCM. And we cannot. So, there, okay. That's better. That's using your noodle fella. And that's why the airbag computer has that code set in it too, so I guess don't be led astray there. What we'll need to do is we're going to need to come back out, and I'm going to have to find a wiring diagram for us so we can see, what network is on. I assume, a CAN network. We'll go simple. We'll use some color diagrams. I'll pull up a diagram here, find out where this module is, and then we'll check it for powers, grounds, and ability to communicate. It should be pretty standard, I assume. What's it going to be listed under? Restraints, probably. QRS. No restraints. So I believe I found what we're looking for. So there's my wiring colors going in. Looks like we have power, ground, a couple communication lines, which our network is really confusing on this. And then a seat slide sensor. Say that 3 times fast. Oh wait. Okay, that's under the driver's seat though, I think. And I found this connector here under the passenger seat, which appears to have the correct colors. I'm assuming that this is our module here, which the only wire color that doesn't match, it says we're supposed to have the blue with white, the pink, the black. The only one we're missing is the gray wire. Of course, this is a color diagram, so I should be looking up an OEM diagram, and that's going to be our power feed, which I'm going to assume is going to be, oops, let me turn my computer back on here. I was thinking it was going to be the red, but I don't believe that's correct. So I've got to find an OE diagram so we can get the right wiring colors and see what's going on here. Perhaps before we do that, we can make some assumptions. I'm going to unplug it. The wiring pin numbers appear to be correct. The only wire color that doesn't match is this green, which I'm going to assume it doesn't change down there, which is pin number 5. So 5 and pin 2. So green and then the black are supposed to be power and ground, hot at all times. Let me move my light so we can see here. We'll see if that's at least true. If we don't have power, then I'm going to spend the time looking for a factory diagram here. Get a light set up that I can see. Okay, can we see? Alright, so we're going to go green and black, so that's the bottom corner, top corner. Try not to touch any other pins here. Let's see. It's supposed to be hot at all times. And I've got the key off, and I do not have any light lighting up. Just for poop and laughter, let's turn the key on. I am touching those pins. Okay, we got no light. Alright, so either I have the wrong wires or there indeed is no power, no ground, one of the two. That comes from fuse 17 behind the left side of dash. I'm going to check that real quick before we get hog wild. So I found the fuse box. It lives back in there. Give you kind of an idea. But look at this. So I look on the back of this is the back of the little ashtray or cup holder, whatever it is, or change holder. Number 17. Look what that has a picture of. That's got pictures on 4-wheel drive. And we had a low power code for that. So I'm curious at this point. We're going to find fuse 17. And we're going to yank it out. Let's see. 17. How is this thing laid out? It's got to be that bottom left hand one. Ooh, this thing got some aftermarket gizmos up in this joint. There's a whole bunch of wire taps up in here, fellas. Let's pull that out. Let's see. It's smoked. I don't know if you guys will be able to see it right now with this stinking light. Focus. She's blown. Great. I hate blowing fuses. You know why? Because you say, hey, what blew the fuse, fella? But we're one step closer than we were. Man, this thing has had the old hokey pokey. Hey, look at that. Winner. 10 cents. How come when these guys put in remote starts, they fuse tap like 1/8 of an inch away from the end of the connector? Okay, let's go get a 10 amp and see if it smokes right away. And I'm back. I got us 3 fuses in case we have to keep blowing one. I'm going to slide that in the hole. Scared me. Nothing blew. Let's go see if we have power now. Alright, let's see. Let's see if we have power here now. We have a flicker of light. So we have power. Plug it in. I didn't hear the fuse explode. So valuable lesson here, never trust colored wiring diagrams. Hey! What's up, girl? Can I have a smoochie before you leave? Love you.
Love you too.
Let's, I guess I gotta plug this back in. Alright, so let's see the next $1 million question. Oops, wrong button. We talk to our OCM. Look at that, we can talk to it now. The other next $1 million question is why? Why did it blow the fuse? Let's see if we can talk to our 4-wheel drive module, which we could talk to before, but see if the code went from active to stored, and it did. Went to a stored code. Oh, yikes. Let me fire that. So now it appears all that we have is the TPMS light. Let's see if the 4-wheel drive works. So you got a little donger down here. Boom, 4-wheel drive mode. Lock mode. Lovely. So here's the dilemma, folks. It, obviously has a blown fuse. There's always the question as to what blew the fuse. So what we need to do, so that's fuse 17. That's this fuse 17 10 amp. What we need to do now is look at power distribution to see where that fuse goes, to see if we can make any kind of logical deduction as to what it feeds. Can is it likely a component has failed or could be failing? Can we duplicate the problem? Something wrong with my internet. So I'll load up the power distribution. We'll see where that fuse goes, and then I have to make some kind of assessment from there if there's a problem or what the story is. So this isn't very helpful. It just says, shows a single wire coming out. I'm going to see if I find a OE diagram. Unfortunately, the factory diagram is really not much help either. It just shows it. It says control area network, electronic controlled all-wheel drive, supplemental restraints. So that's stuff we kind of already knew. It's kind of a pisser. I'll give it some visual inspection. Obviously, with the wiring being under the seat, that makes me suspect something under there. So we'll look under there. Perhaps we'll see where this where it goes to the 4-wheel drive. I assume it just goes to the 4-wheel drive module, which I think I poked across that, and I think that was under the dash somewheres. I'll give it some visual inspection. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on it trying to make a fuse blow, but I do have to do my diligence to at least look. Well, folks, I wish it was a little more exciting than this. I did some looking under that seat where the wires come up. They're actually fixed to the fixed portion of the seat, so when the seat slides back and forth, it doesn't even touch them. I did look at the rest of the wiring on that seat just in case, the power feed to that module goes to, the seat position sensor or something like that, that perhaps could have been rubbing and shorting. I didn't notice anything. The other wire that comes out goes to the four-wheel drive module itself, just, you know, the module behind the left side of the dash. I looked up under there, I found the connector that goes to the fuse box that feeds it. Wiggled that. I see a lot of the trim is missing off this car. Looked through there, looked at, you know, whatever I could see visible. You know, you could spend hours chasing ghosts. I think the best thing to do at this point is I'm going to give the car back to him. It doesn't have license plates or anything on it. Let him drive it and see, you know, if this ends up being an intermittent condition, it's going to be a little tough to track down, you know, where this wire is rubbed, what blew the fuse. I don't know. I don't have an answer for that right now. Did the best I could, and I'm going to have to leave it at that. I hate leaving them like this because, well, you just don't know. And unfortunately, being an auction car, you know, it's even more I don't know. So let me know what you think. Go down there in that comment box, leave your question, comment, criticism, or concern. And while you're down there, subscribe, ring the bell, and all that stuff. And just remember, viewers, if I can do it, you can do it. Thanks for watching.